The Chargers did a masterclass in how you use a top 5 pick in understanding what's available to you, understanding the state of your franchise, and what to do moving forward, and just becoming a better team in general. They nailed it with the 5th pick. And in this video, we are going to explain why it was a good pick, what is coming up next, and why it makes it even a better pick. All right. And we're going to talk a little bit of philosophy of Harbaugh, what he was quoted saying, and we're going to address the trade rumors behind your franchise quarterback. Yeah, all of that is happening in one video. If you're not familiar with this channel, hey, we are Lions fans. We were live both with the Lions and the Chargers for the draft last night. If you haven't watched that, feel free to go back and watch some of that. But we wanted to follow this man, Jimmy Harbaugh, to LA with the Chargers to the West Coast, and I want to make sure you can see him. There you go. All right, we wanted to follow him there. It was a perfect fit. We're from Michigan. We're Michigan fans, and we've always enjoyed watching the Chargers as well. We feel like the Lions and Chargers have a lot in common with their franchises, with their teams. So anyways, let's first talk about this man, Joe Alt. Who are you getting in him? And then I have some really juicy stuff coming after that. All right. So first things first, let's talk about Alt. He is the best lineman in this draft, period. Not even close. In fact, I would say he's the best lineman over the last few drafts. I think the last time we had a lineman as good as him was probably Sewell Slater, right? Sound familiar? All right, so like he has and checks all the boxes, but there's a couple of boxes that I want to talk about real quick just to show you. He is a technician, but he also has extreme athleticism. All right, so for example, when we look at stats, now you get the PFF grade 91.4, 90.7 over his last 2 years. That's great, but like we're not going to just trust a PFF grade. Here's what I'm going to trust, and I hope you're ready for this. His sophomore year, he had 406 pass blocking snaps. 406, and he allowed this many sacks. 0. That is remarkable. All right, only 2 hits and only 6 hurries. Last year, 368 pass block snaps. At Notre Dame, he allowed 1 sack, 2 hits, and 2 hurries. That means in 368 snaps, the quarterback a total of 5 times had to worry about something. Are you kidding me? That is elite. I don't even need to see film on a guy. If he plays left tackle, and I have seen film on him, but if he plays left tackle and that is all he's giving up, he is remarkably good. All right. And everything, every metric backs it up. The only thing that it talks about is every once in a while he'll have a negatively graded run blocking play, 14% of the time. All right. Run block grade in man or gap is unbelievable. Run block grade in zone is unbelievable. Pass block grade, true pass sets, unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. All right. And then you go ahead and you look at his testing. And even his testing is elite. The only 2 things that aren't elite are his hand size and his vertical jump, and I don't care about that. His arm length is good. All right, it's over that 34-inch threshold. All right, his bench press with the long arms, very, very good. Not a problem at all. Everything else, his 3-cone, his broad jump, his height, his weight, he's big, he's long, and he's got it going on. All right. Like that is unbelievable what this guy can do. All right. Then you talk about Jim Harbaugh and you say, why didn't you go wide receiver? And if you go back and you see our reaction to it in the draft, here's what you'll see me saying. They went 5th and they went Joe Alt. And I've been trying to prepare people. Like I know me some Jimmy Harbaugh, right? And I've been trying to prepare people and be like, hey, this is what's coming. Like you're going to draft an offensive tackle and Joe Alt's the best that's out there. Some of the media members tried to get cute and put Latham to you, which no. All right, Joe Alt is the better player. And he probably will be your left tackle. Yeah, he's going to be your left tackle is my guess, almost right away. And Jim Harbaugh said this. All right, and I'll let you read this as well. Offensive linemen we look at as weapons. See, we see Neighbors as a weapon. Malik Neighbors. We see Marvin Harrison Jr. as a weapon. But what about Joe Alt? He said that group, when we talk about attacking, on offense, offensive line is the tip of the spear. Everything starts with the offensive line. We talked about this early on in the Detroit rebuild when we were doing this a few years ago, and they were building through the offensive line with Penei Sewell, who they just gave a huge extension to. And the constant conversation, you'll hear me saying this all spring, all summer leading up to the season, is if you have an elite offensive line, it makes your quarterback better. It makes your wide receivers better because they have more time to get open. It makes your running back better because they get more yards before contact, right? It makes everyone better. A good offensive line is the key to a great offense. A great offensive line is the key to a great offense. Or you could do what happened in the very next pick with the Giants. They have no offensive line, and yet they still decided to go Malik Neighbors. They have a bad quarterback. They somehow have a worse offensive line, and yet they decided the best thing to do to help their quarterback was to get him a shiny weapon on the outside, Malik Neighbors. It's not bad. It does help the quarterback, but he needs to have time to throw to him. And that's the problem. That's the thing you have to take care of. And an offensive line takes multiple players. You just need one wide receiver, and you can get that wide receiver at any time. So let's go ahead and look at what wide receivers remain. You have, and if you want to look, you have the 37th pick here. So, all right, this has changed a little bit. I think Buffalo's here. But there are 4 teams that pick ahead of you, all right, in this round. So let's say 2 of them go wide receiver. All right, you still have really good players like Jackson Powers Johnson. You have a lot of good players that are still on the board, so it's not like going to go wide receiver. Adonai Mitchell is still available. He is a guy that has the upside of a Rome Odunze. He is. All right, he's not that, but he has that upside. Ladd McConkey, are you kidding me? If you can get Ladd McConkey with that 37th pick, just be thrilled. Just be thrilled that you got Ladd McConkey and Joe Alt. You'd much rather have that than Malik Neighbors and whatever tackle's available now, because we'll get into that in a second. All right, Troy Franklin is still available, a deep threat, a good speed guy. Keon Coleman, a big-bodied guy, very similar to Mike Williams, is still available. Roman Wilson, Malachi Corley. All right, Deebo Samuel Light is still available. Tez Walker, you'll be able to get probably in the 3rd round. There are wide receivers for days. Whereas if I went and I talked about offensive tackle, right, who's left? All the way down here, Kingsley, Samataia. All right, there was a significant drop. And they were smart enough to understand all these guys, Jordan Morgan, Tyler Guyton, Graham Barton, Erasmus Mims, Troy Fautino, Olu Fashanu, Talisi Fuaga, J.C. Latham, Joe Alt, who you took, all gone. And they realized that. And they said, we will be able to get the difference between Neighbors and Ladd McConkey is far different than the difference between Joe Alt and Roger Rosengarten or Blake Fisher or Kingsley Samataia. All right, big difference. Joe Alt and Malik Neighbors are both almost can't-miss prospects. They are almost can't-miss. Here's the thing, Ladd McConkey's probably a can't-miss prospect as well. All right, whereas none of those tackles that are left are can't-miss prospects. Now, don't feel crazy if there's a couple of people, all right, and I'm just going to show you this, there is still a chance that if Jackson Powers Johnson is still available, or Zach Frazier, or Cooper Beebe, all right, one of these guys I'd like to see in the 3rd round, but don't be surprised if one of these guys gets drafted. They could go offensive line. You build in the trenches. It's not sexy. It wins football games. And everybody will be better for it. And you can find wide receivers all over the place. You cannot find offensive linemen all over the place. That is why this pick is better than you originally thought. Hey, hope you enjoy it. We'll be making videos on every pick. Like, that's just what we do here, or at least almost every pick. And then we'll be talking about undrafted free agents that we like. There's a lot of room at the end of this roster for rookies to come on and make the team and become massive contributors in the years going forward. And we want to be the place for you to hear all about them. Joe Alt, very, very good pick. I'm a Lions fan. You know that. All right. I like the Chargers, but I can be non-biased. From the outside looking in, it was a better pick. Thanks for watching. See ya.